See, I didn't really need to talk today. You all did it. Great message from Bill and Carolyn, and the song is one of my favorites.
That's nice.
I always have loved it. I was contemplating what to talk about today, yesterday and this morning, and I pulled out from Stephen Covey's Habits of Effective People. Read the book, seen the book. And it's funny, the ones I selected a little bit correspond to everything you've heard already. It's funny how that works. You know, we're kind of like all of one mind. I don't know who knows what in this room exactly, so I'm going to start with a couple basics to kind of like have us come together. Many, many years ago in Miami, at Unity on the Bay, when they had a center of about the same number of people we presently have here right now, Bill Cameron was the minister, and he was great. I wasn't quite yet ready for Science of Mind. I was still healing my Catholicism, and Unity was the place to start for me. And he said, Greg, you are a truth student. And I think that's the first time I probably ever heard that idea. And I'm assuming from what I see here in the room today that most of you are too. First question I have for you is, what is a truth student? And what is the commitment of a truth student? It's about a quiz. I guess I'm going to answer the wrong question. Well, the Science of Mind teaching has its origin from the transcendental movement. Okay, and that very word gives you a clue. If you think of transcending or going across, looking over, okay, we don't focus on the stories, the particulars, the facts. It's not that we're ignorant of the facts. It's not that the facts aren't important, but we put our time and our energy on the greater truth, the underlying truth of our being. What Deepak Chopra would call the unitary field, what I might call consciousness or the omnipresence. See, our teaching is about bigger ideas, and it's about trading in the lesser ideas, always, for the bigger ones. In that book, I won't read it, there's a handout about Eleanor Roosevelt. And you know, in it there's a little saying about, you know, small minds talk about something and bigger minds talk about something else, and bigger minds still talk about something else. And what it's leading towards is the truth. We can all do ain't it awful and poor me, and somebody done me wrong, and any of those types of conversations. And then if we're habitually, what we do as people is we gather like-minded people, and we're all the blind leading the blind with those kind of conversations. If you are a truth student, as soon as you find yourself in a story, what is your responsibility to the most important person in your world? Because you'll find yourself in them. I get in them. Don't you get in them? Mm-hmm. I'm losing something. My perception is something's lost in the mind of God, and that's a joke. But it's my perception. There's nothing lost ever in the mind of God. You're always in the right place at the right time, however, no matter what it looks like. You can be no other place than in the right place at the right time. Perfect. You're always in the right place. But in your mind, you're in a place where it doesn't look that way, it doesn't feel that way, and you're in a story, and then sometimes, as Emma Curtis Hopkins would say, you do counsel of the wicked. I'm not only am I so miserable, I'm spreading my misery what? Yeah, and okay, so once you see that you're in the soup, in the mix, with this teaching, you know, God and I are a majority. I step out of the story and I get in aligned with the truth. The truth is that I'm one with this power. It operates through me as me. Emerson said it's wooing me eternally, always, every moment. It's attempting to get my attention. But I get real busy drowning it out. Turn up the volume. And what part of my life? Every part of my life. Have you been a person in your life where you've been so busy, you're just so busy? I read a book probably 25 years ago that I promised myself I would read again. Haven't yet read it. By Becker, and it was called The Denial of Death. I think it won a Pulitzer Prize, if I'm not mistaken. It was powerful. And it talks what people do just because they can't deal with their own life being X number of years. They accumulate stuff, and more stuff, and people and friends, and they build buildings, and they do stuff, and they get very busy because they cannot deal with the fact that they're here for a blip of time. Our life is precious, it's sacred, it's amazing, and it's here to be enjoyed, and we get so busy we're not conscious. We don't have new moments anymore, some of us. Our moments are already decided. We come and teach moments. I know what this person's all about. I know what this person's all about. I know what everybody's all about. And where's the new thought in that? Where's the joy? Ram Dass wrote a beautiful book. I remember reading it in the 90s. And the title of it was real simple. Be here, now. Be fully present in this new moment. It is a new moment if you let it be. I share my same stories. I'm sorry, you all know better than I do now. Krishnamurti, another one, veils. I have all these perceptual veils, so I see you not as you are, but as through my veils. And you hear me through yours. So Krishnamurti's observation in the book Awakening of Intelligence, he says it's really amazing if communication ever really happens. So what do we do to become practitioners of this beautiful teaching that we have? Can we change all that out there? Do we even want to try? When I was younger and I was more ambitious, I thought I could change all kinds of stuff, right? And today I know that isn't my job. Louise Hay so beautifully said in her book, which I've been teaching from since it first came out, that you are the only thinker in your world. You wouldn't think that was true sometimes. Because the fact of the matter is, so much of what we think is programmed stuff that we got when we were kids. Reinforced in different ways, grandparents, parents, society. Emerson suggested, and I love the quote, I'll never probably say it exactly as he wrote it, but he talks about when a thinker is let loose upon the planet, that nothing is safe. It's all up for grabs. You have the ability to change your life and impact other people's lives by the power that exists within you. You have more power at your disposal than you can possibly understand. Your value is beyond your comprehension. You are one with everything that's good and holy, and yet you don't know that sometimes. One with everything. Our teaching is about one power that exists where? Everywhere present. That means the very thing you're looking for is in you, operating through you, as you. How great thou art, each of you. Do you realize how great thou art? So when you're talking about your brother, your sister in any negative way, you're really talking about what? Well, first of all, it's a projection of your stuff more than anything else. And then remember the truth of God. Remember the truth of the person who sits to your right and left. Each of them are, this is a Christian principle. Love your brother as yourself. It's one of the greatest laws. He or she is you. You're interconnected in this whole field, this unitary field. Bill Tolliver taught me years ago that we are the cheerleaders, the champions. Religious scientists are that, of the goodness, the wholeness, the beauty of life that's omnipresent. When you see somebody struggling in any way, attempting to do anything, we're here to encourage, to support. We're never here to judge them because we know, thankfully, through this teaching and books like this, that everybody is doing the best that they can with the information, the understanding, and the awareness that they have. That means everybody. My holding a resentment towards these people that have done things to me will do exactly what?
Poison you.
First of all, it does nothing to them and it hurts me. So my job as a practitioner of this teaching is to let everybody off the hook. And it's not about what they did or didn't do. That's really not the point. The point is, it's like the American Indians. Don't judge them unless you've walked a mile in their moccasins. You know, you really don't know who they are and what they've endured. You think you know. And you get high and mighty in your judgments of them, but that will get you nowhere you want to go. And I always will say parenthetically, I'm not excusing bad behavior. I'm not saying don't jail people who belong in jail. I want to be clear on that. But I just want you all to have the understanding that whatever they're doing, whoever they are, and I know some of you have suffered some things, this is what they know how to do right now. In the book, You Can Heal Your Life, Louise Hay would say, you know, you look at your own life right now, where you are. You're a different person than what you were 5 years ago, and different than what you were 10. You've evolved quite a bit. And the good news is you're going to evolve more. Emerson said there's a corrective principle always operating in life, in every one of these people that you love. And that everybody is in the right place at the right time, and they're getting what they need, contrary to what you think. You can't fix people. Learned that years ago myself. I wound up in an Al-Anon room in Washington, D.C. I listened to a bunch of African American ladies, me, for a whole year. And it's about detach with love. Where the 12-step programs would say, you know, they're programs of attraction. If you want what we have, you're willing to go to any lengths, then it'll work. But you can't force that stuff on people. They're going to resent you. You're going to give your power away. You're not going to be happy. Perfect place, perfect time. Everybody's in what? Perfect place at perfect time. There's no coincidence that the people in this room today are here by some kind of divine appointment. I'll be darned if I know exactly what it is. But I trust everybody's here for something. Our teaching in this center is real clear about the truth. It's what we teach. It's not about fluff, it's about the real deal. God in me, as me, is me. My life is an outpicturing of whose consciousness? Mine. Yours is also. If you don't like what is in your outer world, then the responsibility for you is to change what's where. As within, so without. Law of mind, law of correspondence, all the same what? Law. I'll make it so simple. You know, religious science teaching is not complicated, I don't think. Do you think it's tough? I don't think so either. So, just to show you the cards, what the cards say. This one I thought was kind of interesting. Understand your ultimate destination. And Carolyn referred to that somewhat. It says, begin today with the image of the end of your life as your frame of reference by which everything else is examined. Each day will then contribute to the vision you have of your life as a whole. When you think of yourself and where you're going, where do you think? And I'm not trying to say that to get anybody depressed. That's not my purpose. But it's just to bring it into focus. In 1980, I entered a program which said God's will for me is to be happy, joyous, and free. I like that. And when we think of the end of our life as a frame of reference by everything, which everything is examined, are you doing the things that you want to be doing to bring you to where you want to go? Is the question. Are you becoming the person, are you doing the things that you want to do that's bringing your life where you want to go? I've come to know my purpose is to enjoy this teaching. I've known it for a long time. And everything about this teaching. I'm a religious science practitioner, and so are most of you. I'm here to practice seeing the truth. As soon as I see myself getting into the story, my obligation to myself and the people who support me is to do what? Stop in the name of love. Get behind me, say whatever you want to say. I've got to kill that. Stop, next, change the thinking. Your thoughts are powerful. Your life is a reflection of your thinking. Your life is a reflection of your consciousness. And I know it sounds hard, but it isn't as hard as it sounds. Louise Hay says it simply. She'll say it's like cleaning the house. You begin where you are with the thought you're thinking, the room you're in. And if your commitment is really strong to the most important person in your world, which is yourself, things will start to change. And they will change quicker than you think. You'll start to see it, the connections. And it won't maybe take you 30 years it's taking me. No, really, it doesn't have to take that long. And it can happen quickly. Healing is a funny thing. It can happen quick. If you really, really, really what? Want. It's like the 12-step programs in the first step. They'll say, willingness is the key that opens up the door to everything that's good. You gotta want it. If you want it. See, here's the thing. You and the Father are one. You and Spirit, you're inseparable. So when you put a demand on consciousness for a demonstration of good, then you're creating the avenues in mind for it. If you keep approaching life with your stories of littleness, or I don't deserve, the stories of our youth, the poor, mean, and awful, then life is going to have a tendency to reflect what you think into it. So what are some things you can say to yourself? Card number 2. Affirm and visualize. Create affirmations with these basic ingredients. Your affirmations are personal. They're positive. They're always going to be in the present tense. In other words, we're not affirming for things that are going to happen when. Right. Always about now. So they're personal, positive in the present tense, visual, and they're emotional. Then each day, visualize the realization of these affirmations. You'll find that your behavior and circumstances will change for the better. What do you tell yourself when you're with yourself? What's your internal dialogue all about? I've been running groups around town for years. Some of you know that, right? And the question I've been asking the past couple of years in some of the classes I've taught is real simple. What's it like being you? Why do you think I ask a question like that? And what's the point behind the question? Are you fun to be around? Are you a riot? Are you a trip? What are you? Is your conversation fun and exciting? I see some of you squirming. What's that all about? There's nobody nicer to be nicer to than you being nice to you. Okay, so I'm asking that question, which I ask all these classes. What's it like being you? You know if you're happy. You know if your frame of view is life is great. And you also know if you're a pessimist. And you also know if you're a downer. And you also know if you know how you're showing up. It's It's neither good or bad, right or wrong. It's just the way you're showing up. Since you know about the law of mind, you know your life is going to reflect your consciousness, then what might it be good for you to do with this type of thinking that you have? Be committed to changing, to trade in the lesser idea for the greater. It's that simple. Wherever you see yourself going into the spin zone, into negativity, cancel, stop, next. Do whatever you need to do to have that shift. We have tools here. We have spiritual mind treatment. One. It's powerful. It's amazing. I'm not going to teach that this morning. It's too much. I can simply say, when you find yourself into a story that's not life-giving, what do you do with it? I say cancel, next. I quote Ronald Reagan on very few things, except for one. There's one line that I thought was priceless when he was in a debate with Bill Clinton. He said, "There you go again." Well, when I find myself in a story that's not particularly good, and I catch myself, I say, "Oh, there you go again with that stuff." Stop. Okay? Because, your thoughts create your world. Begin to think differently. Catch yourself. And when you do, then affirm the truth and visualize the truth about yourself. And keep in mind your end game, where you want to wind up. This is an important thing to think about. Because your life will tend to shape up towards what your vision is for yourself. Next card. Be a model and not a critic. Model that which you love. The teaching gives us lots of clues. The question Bill Tolliver used to ask me years ago, are you a lifter by nature or are you a leaner? Do you have a tendency to encourage life everywhere? Or are you kind of a drag? You're dragging things down. Look at the weakness of others with compassion, not accusation. It's not what they're doing or should be doing that's the issue. The issue is your own chosen response to the situation. Do you find you're in judgment a lot of what other people do? That's really more about you than them. You know that, right? It's always about who. From the Course in Miracles, a beautiful realization that I read years ago. In truth, there's no thing outside of you. In truth, there's nothing outside of you. This is never going to be about them. It's always going to be about who? This is the science of mind, everybody. This isn't about them. It's about who?
Me.
Do I need to say it one more time? It's not about them. It's about who? Okay, got that one? This one is for you, with you. The most important person in the world is, the suggestion is for you to develop a personal mission statement. One that's unique and for who? Right. Take a few moments sometime this week and write down your philosophy of life. Simple. Focusing on what you want to be, what your character is, and the things you might want to do, the contributions that you'd like to make. And write a little bit on the values or principles upon which being and doing are based. So this little exercise is for you to be clearer. I don't want to spend the rest of my life just being busy to be busy. That was the message of Becker's book that I read all those years ago, The Denial of Death. I want to be full of contentment and joy and experience each moment as new and fresh without the stories. I want new moments. I want to know, like Ernest Holmes knew, that there's power for good in the universe and I can use it. I don't want to keep creating my present by the collection of my past with everybody. I'd like to be innocent of judgment if I could be more often. These types of exercises will help you. Unless you just want to hide out in stories, endless stories, which I don't think this group does. You wouldn't be here. This one, I don't know if it spoke to me or not, but I pulled it out, so share it with me. Maybe it'll speak to you. The suggestion is for you to determine your personal center. No matter whether your life is all about money, or family, or work, it's about your spouse, pleasure, possessions, church, friends, enemies, and or self-centered. The ideal is to create one clear center, personal center, from which you consistently derive a high degree of security, guidance, wisdom, and power. Determine your center and what animates you. So I guess I'll summarize just a couple ideas. I'm grateful for the teaching. The teaching changes everything. It's a game changer. From Khalil Gibran in the book The Prophet, there's a line, if love finds you worthy, it will direct your course. This teaching is like that. Once you start to let it in, and you realize this whole thing is self-correcting, it's not the truth, there's no thing outside of you, it's really always going to be about you and how you are responding to life. There's a lot of people that will run from a teaching like this. I wouldn't run from it. This teaching is exciting to me because it opens up the door to every good thing. I can't even tell you, it's just years ago when I was asked, do I want to be a minister? And there was a class about this size, and Bill Tolliver said to us, he said, if you can do something else, go do it. And he repeated himself, if you can do something else, go do it. He says, but those of you who are so in love with this teaching, where you can do nothing else, he says you need to stay. My commitment is to seeing the truth, and I think that is what most of you are about too. Edwene Gaines, who I love and I hate, but I love mostly. She's funny. She reminds me of Dale Evans. You know Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. So she brings on all the cowgirl stuff, outfits and stuff. And what she says is brilliant, though. She keeps on using the word God and good interchangeably. Keep seeing the good, the God, the good, the God. It's always about seeing the what? Good and God. Whatever else you're seeing is not the truth. Do you get that? Whatever else you're seeing is a spin. You're seeing people evolving. Our tendency is we want to go there and judge them and judge them and judge a situation, and what you're always looking at is God and good. I'll say that again. What you're always looking at is God and good. But you say, but Greg, this is a criminal. He's doing this and he's doing that. And I'll say, yes, I get that. And we're going to lock them up. But we're still seeing what? God and good. This whole world is, you're either going to believe this or you're not. You're living, you're moving, you're having, you're being in God only. One power, one energy, one love, one truth. If you are committed to this teaching, you're going to start to see life that way. You're going to start to understand even these people that you really think are god-awful are doing the best they can. You get to be free of your judgments then. And they are doing the best they can. And you know what? They're doing horrible things, okay? We get that. But you're here to heal whose consciousness? Your own. And then you become a light unto the world, the lights of which we haven't seen in a long time. Ernest Holmes would say, find me one person who's for totally committed to seeing the good. And he said, I'd love to